Hey there everybody, Tom Mills here, and I just wanted to do, still feeling pretty sad, so I thought I'd do a live stream. Then I thought, hey, I still need to stock all the stuffings, I keep saying that all day today, stuff all the stockings, and so hey, might as well just do both at the same time. So here we are, ready to do it. I told you guys the other night that I wasn't going to wrap the presents because I was just sick of wrapping. But Mrs. Reeves, who comes to our home church and was Andrea's really good friend, volunteered to come help me wrap stuff. So we got that done pretty fast. I'll show you everything we got there. So we got, each one has got their little presents for their stocking with a charging cable. And I think I told you mostly what they are. This is a Nerf gun. I got Nerf guns for Thomas, Asher, Judah, Justus. And I went ahead and gave one to Eden because I think that she would like it. I just thought that this struck me that she would like that. And then the green one here, Solly's. He's got a Nerf gun too. Hopefully the sound's working. Can you guys hear me all right? All right, no one says they can't hear me, so it must be okay. Then these three are, let's see if you can see. These three on top, they are slingshots. Kind of dangerous ones, so they'll love the crud out of those. But I only got those for Thomas, Asher, and Judah. And then Justus and Eden also got some kinetic sand. All of these little ones here, these are all 2.4 amp chargers, very powerful phone chargers, and underneath it is a set of erasers for school, and all the kids got those. Yep, so that was Eden's. And then Solly got there's a treasure thing in there that you have to like mine out your gold or whatever you get. There's a chance of getting real gold. He'll love that too. And then all three of the little girls all got a lifelike doggy and a little puff animal creature thingy in addition to the other stuff. In addition to that, we got, as the stockings allow for space, we got Krabby Patties, we got mix and match grab bag stuff, got gum. I had to cut these giant gumballs for Thomas, Asher, Judah, Justus, and Eden. I figured the little kids may not be able to handle a giant-sized gumball, so I got them bubble tape for the little ones. A bunch of candy canes, ring pops. There's never enough ring pops, so but in the past I just put one or two in their bag, so I just got them all their own bag this time because everybody loves ring pops. I don't care how old you are. Ring pops are awesome. And then we got these candy canes for each one. So we're going to just throw all those in the stockings and see. Well, hey, Chad. No, they're downstairs. It was Asher's birthday today, and he had a good day. It was a lot of fun. We opened presents this morning, and you'll see that on the vlog, but I don't know what I got. And maybe I'll just leave that for a surprise. I don't want to ruin it. I got some video of that, so you'll see that. And then for dinner, all the kids, if you recall, all get to choose anywhere they want to go to eat. And Asher's quite the homebody. He never likes to leave home, so he wanted to stay home. And I told him you can have whatever you want. He's like, I don't need anything, I'm fine. So how about pizza? He's been really loving Domino's pizza lately. So the nearest Domino's is a half hour away. So I said, we'll go get Domino's pizza and invite people over. How about that? He's okay, that's fine. So we did that. It was great. We got lots of pizza. Got some extra pizzas because they had big bubbles on them, I guess. And so we got like 2 free pizzas out of the deal, which was great. And had a lot of fun. So it worked out great. The kids anyways, Chad, are all downstairs. So one of the cousins, that's Asher's friend Camden, Amy's son, he's spending the night tonight and probably be here a good portion of the day tomorrow since the kids are on school break anyways. And I gave them strict warnings not to come upstairs. So Thomas might make an appearance after we get the stockings stuffed. I keep saying stuffing stuffed. Stockings stuffed. And see what happens there. But am I letting beer get longer? Don't cover the face. Oh, you think? So I go back and forth. So I had some people tell me they like it longer, but I think the best vote wins. Well, you guys tell me if you like it longer or shorter, and I will cut it or let it grow, depending on who I see the most of. How about that? Or leave a comment if you're catching this later. So because I don't know what to do, so you guys gotta let me know. I don't have a wife to tell me what looks good anymore. All right, so I'm going to set this up here looking at our stockings. Shorter, 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 shorter. Let it grow. Shorter, shorter, shorter. Definitely shorter. Keep the beard short and tidy. Short, short, shorter. I think it's pretty big. Everybody wants it shorter, so that's what I will do. Okay, so Chad says longer, long, short, shorter, short. That's pretty funny. Well, thanks, Christy. Well, it'll be, you like it longer. Okay. Well, as long as I don't have somebody in my life that wants it a certain way, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And I grew up thinking it should be shorter and tidier, so that's what I'll do. Alrighty. So I realized over here that, let me move this over so I can see the chat. Muslim style, oh my goodness. This is my pathetic stocking that will have nothing in it, and that is so sad. I don't really care. I thought about just taking it down, but that'll make the kids sad too. So I think I told you guys that I think I'm going to take them to Gillette next week and let them do shoppings for their buddy that they drew names for, and maybe I'll give them some money to buy Daddy some presents, some stocking stuffers or whatever. But otherwise, it'll just look all pathetic. All right, so this one's Thomas. Thomas has had this stocking since he was a tiny little boy. If you guys saw that 2004 video when they for Christmas that I posted recently, you may notice that this is the same stocking that Thomas opened up then. The kids have always been jealous of it because since it's this material, it stretches and we can really stuff a lot of crud in it. So all the kids wish they had a stocking like that. So I'm not sure how much I can actually get in here. In the past, we've had to have supplemental stockings for the candy, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like that's going to get in there just fine. Maybe I'll just take this down. I don't know that I'm decorating. I just hung up stockings, and I did it because the kids would all be totally disappointed if I didn't. So. Look at all these women caring about your appearance. Well, hey, that's nice. I certainly like that. So can't catch flies with salt. I think I can get these in here. I'm not sure how much candy I'll be able to get in. A YouTuber last year, one of our YouTube fans, I don't like saying fans, YouTube friends, that's what Andrea would say, YouTube friends sent us some handmade stockings in their colors. And so I thought that'll be our supplemental stockings. If I can't get all this candy in there or get as much as I can, I'll go up and grab those out of the attic. I'm not sure how that works. I did it about 15-minute rent-a-ray. I did it about 15 minutes ago that I scheduled it. YouTube family, yeah, that's probably better. YouTube family, yeah, that sounds better. I'm not sure when it notifies people, when it does it. YouTube notification system is kind of broken most of the time. So maybe what I'll do first is I'll get all the presents in there, and then I'll see what's left for candy and top it all off. That gets Thomas's in there. Look how much that's sagging down there. Yeah, he is going to have fun. Be right back. I can't see nothing when I'm over here, so. Ooh, focus. Short. Is there anything you wouldn't want us to send? Not really. You guys can send whatever you want, but yeah, you can send whatever the heck you want. So this is Asher's stocking, and he's also had it since he was a little boy. I actually have a picture of Asher as a newborn baby stuffed inside of this stocking. I got him inside of it. It's really cute. I thought it was cute anyways. I think Andrew thought it was cute too. Yeah, I did the same thing. Don't send pre-grown slabs of grass. Yeah, probably not. That might be bad. Everybody's gonna know who you are now, Chad, because you're gonna be our Mills family comedian. Somebody asked for you last time. Where's the funny Chad? Oh, I don't think I'm a strong person. Thank you very much, Jasmine. I'm a wuss. You should have heard me. I had to go back to Walmart because I didn't buy enough. I didn't have enough. I lost one, or I didn't get enough of the dart guns, the Nerf guns. So I just got back from Walmart, and of course I was crying my eyes out both ways. But that's kind of how it goes. All right, Judah's presents. Did I find the gold coins? No, I absolutely did not. The other day, Hannah was showing up with them. She'd show up with a bag of coins and say, "Here, open them." And I'd take it and put it on the shelf. And here comes another bag. "Here, open them." And so she was getting them from somewhere. I do not know where they are at. So we're going to have a reward. When we lose something like that in the house, I usually give like $1 or $2, or I'm really desperate, a $5 reward, whoever finds it. And let me tell you, it gets found pretty fast with 9 treasure hunters on your team. Oh, Chad wants to come hijack the live study. That'd be awesome. Boy, Judah's stocking does not hold very much. Me and Chad have stayed up. I met him at the Preterist Pilgrim Week. Actually, I met him online first. Then I met him in for reals at the Preterist conference thing we went to. You guys have seen on our channel. And we've stayed up many a night talking all night long about Bible stuff. And we're on the same page on like 90% of everything. And the stuff, the 5%, that's pretty much all we talk about. The 10%, that's about all we talk about, argue about. It's good fun. Iron sharpens iron. Are you doing supplemental stockings? I'm probably going to have to. Judah's here. All Judah's going to have in this is presents. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to do that. We'll see. I want to get the presents in there first. So Judah, and then Justus is next. Is it up to 10% now? I just threw it off the top of my head. So. I don't agree with anybody. I haven't met anybody that I agree everything theologically in. I think Andrea. I think theologically, me and Andrea had a lot of other things we did not agree on. But I think theologically, me and Andrea were pretty much 100%. Yeah, I think so. She was a wonderful person. I miss her to death. Thomas's birthday. Thomas will be 18 in January 5th. So he'll be getting manly presents. Functional, useful, not fun, generally. Thank you, Missy. Yeah, Sophia will be after Thomas. You know, Andrea always hung up. Oh, has it already been taken down? I didn't even notice. For her birthdays, you may remember, Andrea always hung up the birthday banner, the birthday boy, the birthday kid, and then put on a nice birthday tablecloth that she made. And I woke up at like 5 o'clock. I'm not sleeping good. Woke up at like 5 o'clock and said, oh, crud. So I immediately got up and thankfully got up and was able to put all that stuff up. I would have felt so bad if it weren't up. Justus Eden is next. Oh, what theme for her birthday? I haven't even asked her. Where do they go after you stuff them? They go right here. This is only their coat rack. So we got another coat rack out there that's now double stuffed with coats. They're all falling all off the place, off of it. But oh, what's the number one thing you disagree with when discussing theology? Talking about me and chatters in general. It's gonna. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I should say, because then that primes you guys to disagree with me if I bring it up in Bible study. There's always things people disagree on. Always. You get enough time with somebody, like I've spent a lot of time with Andrea, and we just talked it all out. I think a good portion of the Bible, I'm a solid who knows on. Like a lot of the questions that people love to burn their eyes out studying, like once saved, always saved, and you know, tongues and healings and all this stuff, you can't ever really know for certain, right? So you can't. So I don't know. I mean, God's a judge. Whoever is going to go to heaven is going to heaven. Whoever is not is not. There's nothing we can do about it. So to me, it's fruitless to argue about. So there's lots of things like that I just say, I don't know. You know, who can tell? So I believe that there are miracles that can happen today. So I believe in miraculous things. But as far as the gifts and the capacity they were in the New Testament, I think that there's some differences there. But that's not something I generally talk about very often because it just makes people upset. Because it's the kind of thing people love to talk about a lot. And I think it's not even, well, let's just say Paul said there were greater gifts and lesser gifts. And generally people want to talk about the lesser gifts. So I'm just going to say that. Justus is next. No, I just did Justus. Eden is next. Absolutely. I don't know is my favorite phrase when it comes to the Bible. So when people, I'll tell you I'll tell you what I think. I have an opinion about everything in the Bible. But I fully admit, I'd say more than people are willing to admit most of the time, is unknowable and unlearnable. I don't jump to Revelation. I think you can learn a lot more about Revelation by not looking at Revelation and looking at the rest of the Bible. But everybody who opens up a commentary, a page by page, this is what this verse means, this is what this verse means, it drives me up a wall because I think it's impossible to have that done. It was not, well, I don't want to tip my hand too much. There are some things that were not for us, that were written to other people, so we don't understand the context. Like, for instance, Revelation talks a lot about the Nicolaitans and how much God hated what the Nicolaitans were doing. We don't know who the Nicolaitans really are. We got some opinions, we got some ideas, but we don't know. That was to those people then. They knew about them. Thank you, Andrea. That's weird to say that. Darlene. I didn't see what Darlene's question was. Everybody says it's a good question from Darlene. Do you believe that everything happens for a reason? Do you believe in fate? Absolutely. But I also believe in coincidence. Christians a lot of times say there's no such thing as coincidence. There is such thing as coincidence and chance and luck and time. The Bible says there is. But that doesn't mean it also says that every good and perfect gift comes down from the Father of the heavenly lights. So we know that he also knows that he knows all of our steps, and then he brings things into our path, and he shapes our path and guides our destiny. So I do believe in fate. I do believe that he knows what we're going to do, and he puts things in our way for it. But King Solomon, the wisest man that said they'll ever live or ever will live, said, The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor does food go to the nor food go to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. So just because you're the fastest doesn't mean you win the race. Just because you're the strongest doesn't mean you win the battle. Because time and chance still happens. So I believe in both coincidence and fate. God can intervene when he wants. And when he doesn't intervene, it's coincidence. That doesn't mean he didn't know it was going to happen, or that it takes him by surprise. Take care, remember he is with Jesus. Has your view on doctors changed? Generally, no. Generally, no. I'm probably more apt to go to the doctor now. No, we enjoy the natural medicine stuff, but I didn't know about that. Andrea had, what do they call it? Master. She had some sort of thing, school she graduated from for being an herbologist or whatever. Man, this stocking's super small too. So I don't know about that stuff. I don't know which one to take, and to be perfectly frank, I don't always believe in a lot of the herbs. I know that a lot of the herbs work, and a lot of them, I don't know, maybe they do, maybe they don't. So I don't always know. I'm probably more likely to go to the doctor, but I despise going to the doctor. Like if you just get a cold or you got a virus, don't go to the doctor. He's going to prescribe you some decongestants you can probably get over the counter, and it's generally not going to help you because you can't stop a virus. There's nothing you can do about it. So people say antibiotics. Antibiotics don't work on the virus. And you're wasting your opportunity with them because your body gets an immunity to them. I'm all for going to the doctor. I'll definitely go to the doctor more than we used to. But I'm still not a big fan. So, good question. How Tom's like his big blue pillow he bought from Walmart. He loved it. Make your own podcast one day. Huh? Maybe. Maybe that might be a good idea. Tom, what about a person who isn't religious start by exploring a relationship with religion and God? That's a good question. I'm going to say something that might shock you. It's not necessarily to go to church. Church is a great place, and there's a lot of good people there. But you should have a relationship with God just in the way you should seek it out. I'm a big fan of the Bible says, if you ask and seek and knock, you will find. And if you hunger and thirst for righteousness, you will be filled. So that's the thing. You got to have the draw. You got to want to. After that, all we got is the Bible. Everything's on the Bible. Every sermon's off the Bible, and the ones that aren't, you shouldn't be at. So start with the Bible. Start with the Gospels. They say John is always the best gospel to start with. It's very basic, very understanding. Maybe from the Gospels, go to Romans. But just stick with the Bible. And if you're just getting started, send me a message on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook under Tom Mills. I won't necessarily friend you because I'm going to reach my limit of friends one of these days. But you can send me messages, and I'll send you an audio Bible for free. So that doesn't mean I'm going to send one to everybody who asks because I'll run out of them. But if you are serious about starting a relationship with God, I'll send you an audio Bible. It'll really help. So send me a message. You think Mark is better to start on? Yeah, Mark's good, for sure. They're all good. All of the Gospels are good. Gospels are milk and meat. John's got the whole salvation message. Talks about it from a little different perspective. I just always heard that. John is different than all the other Gospels, for sure. All right, here's the next one. Okay, Sophia. I missed what someone said. Oh, all that stuff. Yes. I don't see Santa Claus. Oh, cheater.
Sorry.
That was Camden. He was on my reference. So I see Santa Claus. Oh, I don't know if he believes in Santa Claus or not. I see Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy as not very important things. After our kids grow up and become men and women, will that be something they remember? Well, maybe they'll remember it. But it's not very important in the scheme of things. And what I don't want to set up is their whole life playing games with my kids. Hey kids, remember when I told you Santa Claus you couldn't see and was watching you give you presents? Psych, he's not real. Psych, the rabbit's not, the Easter Bunny's not real. Stork doesn't bring babies. Tooth Fairy isn't real. And then they're going to say, what about God, Dad? I can't see God. You tell me he's always watching me and blah, blah, blah. Is God not real too? I mean, you've been lying to me all this time. What if God's not real? So that was my angle. I want them to believe in God. I shouldn't lie to them about anything else. So we just don't lie to our kids at all. And maybe it's just in good fun. Don't take that the wrong way. I grew up believing in Santa Claus, and that's totally fine. I actually got in a fight once over Santa Claus when I was a little kid. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's a fine tradition. And if we did it, that'd be fine. It's not that big of a deal. But to me, the most important thing is the relationship with God. And so I decided that that's something I'd rather not do. So we didn't. We still have fun with it, though. So the kids do not believe in the Tooth Fairy, but they still bring me their tooth. I put their tooth in a Tooth Fairy pillow, and we go in there, and we give them money. We have fun pretending. They know it's not real. It's the same thing. We did the elf on the shelf thing. We read the story, told them all about the magic, about not touching him and all that stuff. And then I said, who's really going to be moving the elf on the shelf around? They're going to say, you, Daddy. And I say, yep, it'll be Daddy. But it'll be fun to pretend, right? And they say, yeah. And so if we have the same experience. We hide the elf, and they all tell me about what he got into or what he did. And it's a lot of fun. But I don't have to feel bad for telling them. So Tom kicked booty over Santa. Yeah. It was, I don't know how old. That must have been like 2nd or 3rd grade. And somebody told me he wasn't real. And I said, he was real. I wasn't getting in the fight part. But, he went after me. And, it was a little kid fight. It was nothing exciting. Yeah, it's just one of those things that, if you think about it, what we tell the kids about who God is, this guy supposedly in the sky or wherever he is, can't see him, but he can see you. He knows if you've been good or bad. You should be good. I mean, it's amazing how much the story of Santa Claus has in common with God. And then one day we tell them, hey, we've been messing with you, stupid little kids. I don't mean to be so hard, because it's fine if you teach your kids about Santa Claus. That was my reasoning on it. And if there was even a small chance that could rub off into some theological thing, and it probably isn't really a chance in my family. We've really talked about God a lot. So I don't think it's a big deal. But better safe than sorry. And I also like the idea of just being honest with my kids. If they want to know where babies came from, guess what? We told them where babies came from. As awkward as it was. Yep, totally agree. Me and Chad, I don't mean to insinuate me and Chad are not on the same page on a lot of things. We're not. We're pretty much on the same page on most things. What is the weather like? Are you cooking anything special for Christmas Eve day? No, I'm not. It's going to be probably one of our more boring Christmases. Although that's what Andrea always wanted anyways. Open presents with the family. And that was pretty much all. We'll go to Bethany's house and share stuff. How old were your kids when you told them where babies came from? I generally told them when they asked, and I didn't tell them if they didn't ask. I decided that the old birds and the bees talk isn't really necessary. They all figure it out. Kids are smart. And I remember my dad was dead. My dad died when I was 10. And so my grandpa gave me the birds and the bees talk, and it was the most scarring talk that I ever had my entire life. And again, I already knew it all anyways, so, which made it even more awkward. It was terrible. I guarantee you, they'll figure it out. So, I don't know. We were never a fan of necessarily setting them down on purpose to do it. But if they asked anything about it, we would just tell them. We'd tell them straight up if they had questions. So, which audio Bible do you recommend? I have an Audible. Would you have an opinion? The best Bible is the one you'll actually read. That's the best Bible version. So, as far as audio Bible, I think it holds the same thing. I think it's very important to have a dramatized audio Bible, whichever version you get. So dramatized means they have actors, they have sound effects, they have music and background noises and ambience and that kind of stuff. I think it makes it immensely more immersive and fun and enjoyable and easier to listen to. The one we have is an NIV, 1984 NIV by Faith Comes by Hearing. I think you can get it. Well, if you go to faithcomesbyhearing.com, it'll forward you to the real Bible, Bible.is. They're the ones that own that, Bible.is website. And you can actually listen to it right there. The NIV of today, I do not like. I hate it. So don't rush out and buy an NIV Bible, or even a modern NIV audio Bible if you find it. But the 1984 one, I really like. There's some things I don't like about it, but that's true on every Bible version. Yes, our Bible is definitely dramatized. It's wonderful. Everybody seemed amazed by my rapping last night. I didn't know that it was that special. Everybody's told me that in my family that I rap good, but I didn't know that I did necessarily. All right, we got all the presents in there. It's time to get candy in there and see how we do. The only one I'm worried about is like Judah's, but we'll see here. Yeah, the Bible I send out is that one. So. The rapper. I thought about doing some sort of play like that, but that's just dumb. I'm too white to joke about rapping. All right. All right, red hops for Thomas. Oh, there's some sour ones too. Maybe I should mix and match. I'm generally, I feel good about what I'm doing as a dad. I know I'm a good dad. I don't want to be only a dad. Bible you sent out like a beginner Bible. All Bibles are beginner Bibles. All Bibles are advanced Bibles. If it actually is the Bible, yes, it's very easy to understand. I am a big fan of versions that are in our modern language. So, I know there's a lot of people that really like the King James, and that's totally cool. If that's your thing, get a King James one. Nobody really cares. If it's the version you'll use, that's wonderful. But yes, as far as calling it a beginner Bible, it's generally accurate. So, very easy to understand. That was one of the miracles of the NIV. The old NIV. Bible's the best for a 0 to 3-year-old. Well, that's probably, we like to get board Bibles for that young. Storybooks that they can just look at. If they want them to have it, I mean, they can't read anyways. So, although we just got all of our little ones all have official Bibles that Papa Doug wanted to get all the kids Bibles, so we got all Bibles. And then you can't buy 1984 NIVs anymore. So these are all modern NIVs, which I do not like. But it's okay for following along with our Bible. So, night, Missy. Thanks for popping in. ESV is a version of possibly. Don't go saying that. People won't know you're not lying. It's funny to me, but they'll be like, "Oh, really? Great." The Bible, the Greek that they used was the Septuagint, Greek Bible. Actually, no, they didn't have a Bible. They had the first 5 books. They had the Torah. So this one, yes. Totally all 100% Greek. One of these days I'm going to be able to read this. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that anyways. A lot of fun. I happen to be sitting by our Bible shelf, so. My adults keep doing it. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Well, thank you. Deneen, that's very kind of you. That one specifically, this is the exact binding. If you look at the publication notes, it says 2 to 5 AD. Oh man, these are. I think we need supplemental candy stockings maybe. I always liked, my favorite Bible ever, unfortunately, is only New Testament. Is this one right here. You can still get it on Amazon, their old copies that are around, by Alfred Marshall. This one has, it's got the 1984 NIV over here, the NASB New American Standard over here, and the Greek Interlinear in the middle. I absolutely love it. And it's got the NIV I like. NASB, I always considered NASB New American Standard the most accurate translation. It's actually too accurate a lot of times. It's like reading a robot. I saw a really sweet meme once of the Bible versions and Star Wars characters, and I believe that they had the NASB was C-3PO, which I thought was awesome. I think I got an extra one of these. Okay. Thomas. Asher. Oh man, I don't know about Judah Stockings, so. Yeah, I taught myself Greek because I don't like the way people teach you in schools either about biblical Greek. If you want to know how, I have a video on my channel. I have my own channel. I pretty much do all this channel now, but I have my own channel. Teach you how I went about learning Greek myself. They're going to see those gumballs hanging out, and they're going to be so excited. in Solomon, Sophia, Claudia. Hannah doesn't need bubble gum. To see whatever don't fit. I was already thinking that I had this down here, but who wants to look like a grown man sucking on a pacifier ring pop while he's on a live stream? So I thought twice. I gave one kid only 2 ring pops. Did you see which one? Well, one I already put 2 in to begin with. I only have 1 ring pop left over, so somebody got shorted a single ring pop. If you happen to notice which one it was, I'm all ears. Did you ever do a meet and greet? Certainly. Certainly would. Krabby Patties all around. Give it to the baby? Yeah, that's probably true. Done. Baby's got it. It was Thomas? I thought I gave him 2 to begin with, and then I opened them up and mixed them up. So that's why I only gave him 2 to begin with. Because I realized his were all sour. Can't find Krabby Patties here. Krabby Patties are flippin' amazing. It's a mixture of regular gummy candy mixed with marshmallows together, but the combination, the ratio is so precisely good that it's just amazing. All right, so candy canes I give a lot of thought to, and I know that Solly loves M&Ms, so Solly gets an M&M one. And little Hannah loves M&Ms and can eat M&Ms easily. The girls all got troll hair things because they all love those. And the rest are all Kit Kats. You all get the same, yes, pretty much all the same. Except for the presents are different, but even those are mostly the same. Yeah, Judah's stocking is like, I can't believe I've gotten as much stuff in there as I did. I've actually done pretty good here. All I have left is the filler stuff. I tried this, you taught that much and you hated it? Oh man, somebody tried Krabby Patties and hated them? Man, that might be communism right there. Alright, let's see here. Put a handful of each of these in these and let's see here. Yeah, Hannah will be the one that gets into these. The rest of the kids will leave them alone. Claudia might try, but Hannah for sure will be grabbing stuff out of everybody's. Yeah, I'm glad you did try it, Gina. That's really fun that you did. I'm just messing around. You don't have to like everything I like. But I just think they're just amazing, so. I've got a drawer in there, my nightstand, that's full of Krabby Patties from all you guys, which I love. And, I still can't eat very much. I don't eat very many sweets or, well, any food at all, really. So I don't eat them that often. But one of these days, I'll get my appetite back and they'll be gone, so. You know, someone else told me the same thing from other countries that didn't have Krabby Patties, so it must be an American thing. I don't know. I'm sure you can order them online, obviously. How do we pick them out? The stockings? Good question. That's a good. They didn't originally. I mean, this was literally Thomas's stocking as a baby. And this was Asher's stocking as a baby, and Judah's stocking as a baby. We just bought one. It was cute. So then what we're not going to get rid of Thomas's stocking. So we didn't do the colors. The colors didn't come into place until right in here after Judah, I think. That's my memory, anyways. I think actually Andrea tells the story on the channel somewhere, and she can correct me. But my memory is it was about Judah's time when we started the colors. Krabby Patties are just like gummy hamburgers. If you ever see those gummy food, the gummy food, the gummy hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff, those are rip-offs of Krabby Patties. Krabby Patty was the first one to start that. Krabby Patty is just a thing in SpongeBob SquarePants. That's just what they eat, and I don't know, whatever it is. I don't care about the fact that it's a hamburger, although that's super fun that it's a hamburger. By the way, the meat patty is the best part. I could just feel it. It feels so soft and silky smooth. It almost feels like human skin, which of course, that doesn't sound very edible right now, but it feels so smooth. I just can fondle the, I'm not going to say fondle the meat patty, but anyways, it feels silky smooth. Well, I managed to really get Judah's is really stocked to the brim, but I still managed to get all the stuff in there. These ones are cool. They come with little candy canes and little dipping sauce things. Everybody gets one of those. They will be excited to see them. My knees are going to give out here in a second. I'm sitting on my knees though. Just about done though. How was the Christmas party? It was a Christmas party. Me and Thomas pretty much sat there like bumps on logs. I ordered a steak, which if you recall, I'm not a huge steak fan. I don't mind it. We had one on a date night, one of our last date night videos where I ordered a steak and Andrea was like, "You ordered a steak?" And she got some footage and was very proud and surprised that I ordered a steak. Generally I don't order steaks, but I ordered one for her. I ordered one the way she would eat it, which Thomas then ordered the way the same. So got 2 extra candy canes that don't quite fit, although Justus would like these the most because they have dipping sauce. Thomas, Asher, Judah, Justus. I'll give one to Justus, maybe Eden, and then Sophia. Okay. Just fill things out here with the rest of the candy. I can't believe I actually got them all in their stockings. Got every single thing in there. Who didn't get more? Thomas. All right. Done. Oh, man. Oh. There's a big animation. Oh, thank you, Tammy. That's so nice. Steak is a requirement for friendship. I ate the whole steak, so I mean, I don't mind steak. Oh, maybe you guys are right. I only gave 2, but I thought I gave them to Thomas. Man, someone's going to be short. All right, I'm going to take your word for it. I think it was Thomas. So we'll duke it out later. They won't even know. Alrighty, well, I'm going to switch this to a regular random live stream now. Get this off the wire. You'll have to bear with me a second while I switch to the lapel and switch the audio source. Let me know if you can't hear me here in a second. Oh. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hopefully so. Man, my feet are asleep. Okay, let's get the Christmas tree in here. Get sick? I was tangled. All right, good. You can hear me. Well, now I'm not looking at you, though. That's why I always have the camera over there, because the computer's over there, and it looks like I'm looking at you. Oh, one fell out of his. Maybe it was Judas. We'll figure it out. I'll broach the subject when we open presents, and the kids are always more than generous to give them away. There'll be ones that are broken anyways. You know, nothing's worse than a broken ring pop. So you open it up and the pop is off the ring. Oh man, if it's one of the little kids, it'll immediately get traded to one of the big kids because they will do that of their own free will. Is it cold where you are? Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 14 degrees. Would you like to know the weather for tomorrow?
No. So there we go. 19 degrees, low of 14. Pretty cold tonight. There's snow on the ground, but that's pretty much it. You guys may have noticed that the Alex plays music randomly sometimes on the stream. It always plays the same song, this song called No that I've never heard of. And I finally tonight figured out what's happening. The kids all downstairs are saying, Alex, play. And as soon as when they hear one of the kids saying that, they go, no! And so then it plays no. And if you say something after that, like everywhere, or something that sounds like everywhere, it'll broadcast to every Alex in the whole house. So it took me a while to figure that out. But why does it always play that dumb song? It's pretty darn funny. I thought it was hilarious. I like that I have the phone app too. There's a phone app on my phone for the Alex, and it I can interact with it here. So I can be somewhere wherever I'm at and broadcast to the whole house whatever I want to broadcast, and it'll announce it, tell me when I'm going to be home. It can also tell me where I'm at. I don't want to say it because it'll say my address, which is not hard to find anyways. But they can ask it where Daddy is, and they'll tell me exactly where I'm at and where I'm going at any given time. Isn't that so cool? They can know how long I've been at the same place, or if I'm stuck, or if I'm on the road. Oh, about the box of cats. I didn't know about the box of cats. You guys taught me about the box of cats. Well, it was during a live stream that all of a sudden I said something that somehow sounded like open box of cats, and whatever happened, I was completely in the dark. Oh. Have you changed to monetize? Yeah, we are monetized now, and it's been a great help. It's a great help. I'm basically making the same as I was before all this happened now, because I'm staying home less, and it's a little slower than it has been. So generally, Andrew used to budget 3 ways. If you made this amount, or this amount, small, medium, large, because I want to make the same amount in my business. And so now with the monetization, it's basically like we're making the one we want to make, the higher one, every month, which is great, which means I'm not worried about money. So yeah, 19. Yeah, I'm inside, so it's not really that big a deal. But if you're outside, it's cold. It's kind of fun to be cold sometimes, though. It's fun to try to stay warm in the cold. You can always get warm. You can't get cold. We were old school too. We only got the Alexes since Andrea passed away, because I need my life as easy as I can get it. There's so many things that I have to do manually picking up Andrea's work. That anything I can do at all that can be automated or remote or changed and made easier, then I'm absolutely going to do it. So that allows me to put my entire schedule up there, schedule chores, tell the kids when to do their chores, when to eat lunch, when their school breaks start, when the school breaks end. That's really the entire reason we got it, for the schedule. It comes on and tells them when to eat lunch, when they should do their chores, when they should go to bed. So all things that I would forget to do that mommy would remember. So yeah, I can make Alex all over the nation, or however many people are here. How many people are here? 727. Not bad, which is a pretty late live stream. It's fun to do late ones sometimes, but we get more people over in Europe that normally can't get on. Oh, sure, you're Alexis. Does that do it? Alexis. Oh, dang. I'm always looking for a good name to call her that doesn't set her off. It's pretty close. Alex is the best I've got. You guys gave me that, Alex. So I call her Alex, and she won't come on. But it's a boy's name, and it doesn't quite flow. Alexis would be awesome. No, that would be awesome because it's very close. But it sets her off too. So the thing with Thomas was fine. It was there were bumps on a log. No one, I was honestly fighting back tears the whole time. So I'm sure I'm the depressing guy at the party. It was a long table, and we came in pretty late because the roads were kind of bad. And it was a half hour away, and we drove real slow. And so we were the last ones there, and we had to get in the table. And so we were far away, which was great because people could tell, I'm sure I was crying my eyes out. And so it was generally okay, though. How are you, Tom? Terrible. Alexi? Alexi? Nope. That works. Close. Lexi? Lexi? Oh, that's a pretty good one. What about Lexa? Nope. Never mind. Lexi? Lexi? That's pretty good. That might be a good one. Do the kids cry much? Today when I got up, it was Asher's birthday, obviously, and it's also Sunday, so I didn't get up quite at the same time I normally do, a little later. And he was sitting in the chair, and I could tell he had been crying. His eyes were all watery. So I'm sure he's thinking about Mom. But that's the first time I've caught him crying, any of them crying in a while. So fake it till you make it. Yeah, story of my life. I don't mind that, though. Christmas doesn't really bother me. I'm just sad in general. Extremely lonely, and I miss not having somebody here. And I miss Andrea, too, so it's all mushed together. Nothing, honestly, particularly about Christmas. I'm sure the day Christmas comes and the kids are opening presents and Andrea's not here, I will be sad then. But okay. Thomas just got out of the shower. I think he's going to join us. "17 weeks in, how's it all going?" 17, is that what it is? 17 weeks? 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I guess so. It's going rotten. So it's going okay for a little while, but it's pretty much back to rotten. The community ed class you could take to be around other adults. I'm sure there is, but I don't know that I would do it. Talking to you guys is the best thing I can think of. It's for me. Everybody tells me I should go to therapy or a psychiatrist or something, and I've considered it, but I don't. Some random person who's being paid to talk to me, and I can see that. I see that for what it is, and it makes it a very non-conducive to talking to somebody and opening up to somebody. You guys are all kind of like family to me, so honestly, I was at Walmart walking around looking for last-minute stocking stuffer stuff. And, of course, I'm crying my eyes out on the way there, crying my eyes on the way back, and all I can think about is I want to come back and do a live because I feel so much better when I'm doing a live and talking to you guys. It really helps. It's distracting, fun, and I'm talking to real people. A lot of times that's what I miss, that, to just call Andrea and tell her about my day. Just call and say how my day's been, what I've been doing, what customer said this or what customer was mean. Well, you got dressed in the fast.
Well, I'm going to put on pants or shirt.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. I'm not a journal type dude. This is as close as I would get to the journal. I'm just very lonely at the end of the day. It was nice talking to anybody. Got your Christmas shopping done? Yep, got it all done. What did Tammy say? Tammy always says good things. You could teach Dr. Phil not the other way around. Totally. I mean, is that arrogant to say? But that's totally how I feel. I've been that person for people. I've helped them grieve. I've helped them deal with loss and talk to them. I've give people marriage counseling and all kinds of counseling just by what I know about Scripture and talking to people. And so I feel like I know it all. And I know all the tricks, and I know how they get people to talk, and I know what I'm supposed to say to make them think that I'm fine. And I know I wouldn't be honest with them. I can't open up to people that I don't have a close personal connection with. That's just how I am. The only person I could talk to was Andrea. The only person I would really talk about what's in my heart. And the closest I come to that is maybe talking to Mrs. Reeves, who's Andrea's friend, and then beyond that, you guys. I talk pretty open and honest with you guys. I don't get into the deepest part of my stuff, but I keep thinking God will bring me somebody that I can talk to one of these days. One of the churches offer grief share. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Good night, Carol. Thanks for showing up. Lost 2 family members this year and have a big hole in your heart. No doubt. I'm sure you do. It's terrible. Thomas, how have you been doing? He says good. Tell me how well you can hear Thomas. Talk.
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Thomas.
He's got his mouth.
Another live stream.
He's got his mouth full, but let me know how. I'm not sure how well this picks that up. So, have I met Rachel Day in real life? No, never have. I don't think Rachel Day. She's. I don't think she's been around too long, but she's a very big fan and takes care of a lot of the easy questions for me. But I don't really know her. We can hear the Doritos just fine, so apparently they can hear you good. This is a good mic. I like this mic. I'll bring you someone to share your life with when the time is right. I sure hope that's the case. I pray that it is. I'm not afraid to admit it. We can hear you, Thomas. What do you want for Christmas? Oculus Rift. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I lost a daughter in 1987. I told the hurt would go away. They lied. No doubt. Sometimes strangers make the best counselors. That's kind of true. And that's, I mean, you guys are not strangers, but I don't exactly know you either. So it's really a good mix, I think. It's better than a total stranger. Like, I wouldn't just grab a dude off the street and start pouring my heart out to him. I wouldn't do that.
You can do it to people who are online because like, you can't see them judging you.
Yeah, I guess you can't. And generally, people are only here that like us. I mean, there's trolls. Most of them have been banned, so I can't see them. But all those thumbs downs on every video, they're there. And I'm sure there's people right now who aren't talking who hate me. But that's fine. They're always trying to get into my life and bother me, but it's whatever. You guys mostly all like me, so it's great. It's very enjoyable talking to you guys. And you guys encourage me, and it's very helpful, in fact. So you are my family. You are extended family. You absolutely, absolutely are. Seven people can just go eat. Is that how many this has got? 7? I'm pretty sure there's some bots. Because straight up as soon as you get a video going,
Well, yeah,
there's a grip of the thumbs downs instantaneously. So I think that there's people that are out there looking for people to hate on. Yeah. Now it's 8. They're out there. They're making themselves heard. They can't be seen because they've been banned, but they can give a thumbs down. How imperfect is perfect. Super grateful. That's exactly right. Doritos with cream cheese. That does sound kind of good, maybe. All of a sudden, I heard sour cream, though. Now I want some Doritos with sour cream. Does it show bots and analytics? I'm sure it does, because a bot is just an account. No real difference. Well, thank you, Kathy. You have an Oculus Rift. My mom bought my son. Yeah, we got one too. It's absolutely great. Oh, you can wait. Oh, it broke right after you got it. You can probably fix it, so you can have it. Wow.
I think they go get revenge on partying.
No, there's a Sea of Thieves is having a crisis. So, Major Pizza of the Day. It is so good. I need to make an updated video. I have some new tricks and tips, and I've tweaked the recipe some more, and I've learned some things off of that recipe, mainly the types of flour I was using versus the ones you guys were probably using. So, YouTube was Andrea's gift to you. That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. We get to see her. I get to learn how to run the house. I can watch her videos on grading papers or doing laundry or a routine or making dinner. I can't tell you. You're going to see it on a vlog soon, but I wanted to make Andrea's chicken Alfredo. That's her signature dish that she loved to make, and all the family likes it. And I got to watch her video, and it told me the perfect quantity for our family. I cried my eyes out the entire time doing it, but it came out and it tasted just like it. I was so happy. So we got those, and plus the kids can see her. It's given us all the money for the GoFundMe. I paid off the house. And then, I mean, in the future, if God does bring me somebody else, there's a good chance it'll be one of you people on YouTube. So that's amazing. I mean, like 90% of our watchers are female, which is hilarious. But that's because it's all about family, and no one cares about family like mothers do. Sour cream with a spoon. Don't have any chips at the house. That's pretty good. Chad says he's taking. Are people hitting on Chad? That would be awesome. Thank you, Pam. Yeah, the channel's been a great help. Not to mention, you guys are all here when I'm sad. I've been very sad the last few days. Can't tell it right now, but having the live stream will make me feel good pretty much the rest of the night. Then I'll wake up tomorrow and be sad all over again. Would you ever move house and create more space for your kids? Maybe. Chad Kennel right there. That's Chad. I don't want to marry you, Chad. Would you ever move? Yeah, I might. I possibly would move. Honestly, I'm not going to move if I can help. I'd rather stay in the city. I'm never going to sell this house, or if I do, I'll sell it to one of my kids because this house is too many memories and special. But I don't know if God ever were to bring me somebody else. Maybe they'll have kids, and maybe we'll have to move. So, or add on, or something. So that's always a possibility. Moving is a possibility. I first thought it wasn't, but recently I decided that that's a possibility. Oh man, everybody's talking about Chad. I'm sure he's eating it up. Oh, there's Dee Dee again. Chad's a hot preacher. This is pretty funny because I had this thought last night, Chad. I don't want to burst your bubble, but I wonder if she thinks you're Michael Miano. Because I wonder where did you see him, Dee Dee? Did you see him on one of our videos? The animals go to heaven, Tom. I think there's some interesting things in the Bible that can give us some interesting thought that maybe they do. But you can't know for sure. In fact, King Solomon, one of the verses in the Bible that says, who knows if the spirit of the animal goes into the earth and the spirit of man rises upward? He said, who knows? He doesn't know. Yes, the conference. So that's what I was wondering. If it's the most recent conference, Chad wasn't there. So if it was the original, Chad was there. So it's Andrea too. She reminds me of my mom. If the kids ever need to talk, I'm here. That's awful nice. I can't get them to talk to me a lot of the time. All the kids pretty much talk to me. Home on the Ranger. Extra goodies for your beautiful family. From mine to yours, we love you. Wow, $25. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Was it the Chad? What's that from? Was it the Chad? What movie is that? You better tell me. Are we going to the hotel for New Year's? Yes, we are. I believe animals are in heaven. Well, there's some interesting things to prove that maybe that they are. Charlie's Angels, is that what it was? Man, I remember that show, but remember when, was it Elisha? When Elijah and Elisha are together and they're being surrounded by the enemy. And he said, what are we going to do, Lord? And he says, Lord, open his eyes so that he may see that greater are those who are with us than are those who are with them. And it says his eyes are open, and he saw running in the hills horses of fire and chariots of fire. Right? So he saw horses of fire. He didn't say, I saw a blobbity thing with 5 wings and it was on fire. He said he saw a horse made of fire. So he recognized that as a horse. So whatever that is, heaven has horses of fire at least. And so obviously the horse we have here on earth is a copy of these heavenly horses. That's my thought. And there's a couple other times that things like that happen. So Nebuchadnezzar, yeah. What's your thought on cremation? Nothing wrong with cremation. This is just a meat sack we wear around. Doesn't matter what happens to it after we die. The Bible talks about animals in heaven. I don't know that it does. There's very little about heaven, explicitly about heaven at all. You're probably going to be referring to the new heavens and the new earth, with the wolf laying down with the lamb and the leopard with the goat. all that sort of a thing. But I don't think that's talking about heaven. So there's actually very little about heaven in there. How many scriptures can you quote? More than I could tell you, actually, because I find myself memorizing them for the audio Bible just naturally, and I don't realize that I know them until I hear it and I start just quoting with the audio Bible. I can do whole chapters of Hebrews. So I know a lot, but I can't tell you how many I know. Yep, this is our meat sack. How's Hannah doing? She's doing very well. She's super cute. What do you think about organ donation? Well, I don't, you know what? I'm going to say something about that, and I'll have all kinds of organizations on me. I guess that tells you what I think about it, huh? We do not do that. We won't sign up for that. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You believe in reincarnation? No, I don't. So I don't think the Bible teaches that. In fact, it says man is appointed once to die and then the judgment. So it doesn't say anything about that. Yeah. Well, good night, Nayla. It's nice that you stopped by. Oh, man. I don't know if I get in trouble talking about it or not. The thing about organ donation is you have to be alive to donate your organs. If your body is dead, you cannot donate your organs. So, yeah. Let's just say there's been horror stories about it. So, I don't want that for me or any of my kids. Very good, Teresa. Yeah, exactly right. No, if you die, they can't get your organs. So you have to be alive to get the organs. But there's a lot of people that have been saved from organ donation. So I'm not going to say don't do it at all. I think it could be very good. I just think maybe there's a way you can do it to where, I don't know. I probably shouldn't be talking about it. Well, they may be dead spiritually and kept breathing by machines, or maybe they're just alive. That's the other part. There's been... I'm not going to talk about it. You can research it yourself if you'd like. We don't do organ donation ourselves. How much do you believe in the Bible is not the original translation? The original penning of these letters. I don't think any of it is probably exactly word for word that. But as far as what the content of the Bible is, I think it's completely 100% accurate. There's definitely stuff that's in there that's been added later that we have good reason to doubt. You've heard the story about that he without sin cast the first stone. You know, that whole story in John, I think it's John 8, that story is not in the oldest manuscripts, any of the oldest manuscripts. It's extremely likely that it was added there later. So that's a very good reason to doubt it. Is there anything bad about that story? No, I think Jesus could have definitely acted like that. And there's always a possibility that it was lost from an original manuscript, and so it wasn't in the ones that got copied the most. And then maybe someone knew something about an old one and added it in. It's always possible it's still true and added in there later, but it's also very possible it's not true. And there's lots of verses like that. But generally, none of them really shake up the meaning of anything very much. God preserved his word. Yeah, he preserved his word. I don't know if he preserved Paul's word or whatever. That's the thing about God. The Bible contains God's word. It's all true, 100%. But it's not all God's word. Does that make people mad? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it won't. The reason why I say that is because there's definite theological problems that can come up if you stand on it the wrong way. I mentioned the contradictions before. There are some very minor contradictions in the Gospels, through Chronicles and Kings, a few other places. Very, very minor contradictions. They don't change the truth of any of the Bible, but they're there. And so that's what atheists will make a heyday out of the Bible, saying, see, look, your God can't even write a book. And look how you got this guy's shirt says it's red, and this gospel says his shirt was blue. Well, what's the story here? They can't both be true. And so I'm not interested in the color of the guy's shirt, so to speak. I'm interested in what happened, what the guy said, and what he did, and what Jesus did. So it's important to me to be very careful to worship God and not the Bible. Even if God's word is wonderful, you don't worship God's word, right? God is perfect. If man writes some stuff down, it's perfectly logical that he might get things off a little bit. Like Paul said, there's one part where Paul says, about virgins, I have no word for the Lord, but I give you my opinion as one who is trustworthy. So when that particular instance about virgins, what he tells them about virgins is not from God. He says it's explicitly, this is not from God. But it's still good counsel. Does that mean it's not true? No, 100% true, 100% accurate, and good to do. But Paul himself said that this is not from God. In other places, he says this is from God. There's actually places where Paul says, I don't remember. In other words, I don't remember if I baptized anybody else. And does that mean that that's God's word? Or there's a part where he says, bring me my cloak that I left in Troas and my scrolls. Is that God's word? Or is that Paul asking for his cloak? And again, the reasoning is very specific, because otherwise it builds a hill on a foundation that's not God or Jesus. You know, the verse I like to quote the most is in Acts. Great is Artemis of the Ephesians. Great is Artemis of the Ephesians. Is that God's word? Or is it just true that they said that? So that's the deal. Great is Artemis of the Ephesians. Artemis is that goddess Diana the Greeks worshipped. Is that true? Is that God's word, that great is Artemis of the Ephesians? No, that's not God's word. But it's a true story that happened. Does that make any sense? Do I believe dinosaurs existed? Absolutely. I'm very curious about them. It's one of those things that whenever somebody tells me for certain how dinosaurs fit into the Bible and Scripture and the world, I just want to laugh in their face, because I don't think we know. I do think we see evidence of prehistoric large creatures like the behemoth and the Leviathan in Job. But how it actually fits in there is a big mystery that I love to talk about. Favorite superhero? Wolverine. Wolverine's best. How can you not believe in dinosaurs? There's definitely some conspiracy theorists about dinosaurs, actually, believe it or not. I do believe in dinosaurs because we see the bones. They're not bones. See the fossils. If you're ever considering getting a new couch, man, you guys love to talk about the couch. Yes, I will be getting a new couch. We've got plenty of money to get a new couch, but I'm just being very careful about our money and how we spend it and what we do with it. And I generally want to get my head right and good, and try to go a couple days without crying my eyes out. And once I get all that straight and see what God's taken me and what happens in my life, we'll start doing remodeling and fixing and couch buying. Are the kids' bikes safe? Yes. That's why we built that bike shed out there, to keep them rain free. And so many bikes we bought them all got all rusty.
All right, crimes are subverted. I'm back.
Did you get revenge on the people that sunk them?
Yeah, effortlessly.
Great. There's fossils all over Wyoming. They dug up a T-Rex right off the interstate. We could watch it the whole time while we were driving by. They found the largest mammoth ever found in Wyoming. It's on display in Casper. We went and saw it. And it's the biggest one that's ever been found. And the head was like a mile away or half a mile away from the base, which is very curious.
Got beheaded in battle.
Yeah, but it's giant. I don't know who could have carried it that way. I don't know what the story is, but it's really fun to think about. Chad's a young earther. See, that's one of the things me and Chad will disagree on. So I'm a young creationer, but an old earther. See? Because Genesis 1:2 is the most overlooked verse in the Bible. I generally don't go into Genesis and the creation account because it's highly controversial and everybody loves to fight about it. But I always ask people, what day, and this is where Chad wishes he was sitting here next to me right now, hijacking the, this would be great. It'll be fun when we get here. But what day did God create water? What day did God create water? And you can go back and look. None of the days, none of the 7 days of creation did God create water. In fact, it says before the 7 days of creation that in the beginning the earth was void, the surface of the earth was empty, and God's Spirit hovered over the waters of the deep. So there was already water around before the creation, and then he just parted the water and dry land appeared. It doesn't say day one. It's not implied. It doesn't say it. Does not say it. It said the earth was void. And void, people think of black hole, but void just means devoid of life. So earth was already there. He just terraformed it. He didn't create dirt, and he didn't create water on any day. There's no day where God said, let there be water. So, or let there be dirt. Now he said, let dry land appear when the waters parted. So anyways, because of that, my logic is the earth was already here, but God formed it for life. So recently, I don't know how long ago. General Christians like to say 7,000 years, but it could be any amount of years. Not millions of years by any stretch. But it's possible the earth was around millions of years. That's entirely possible. I could be all wrong, and it could be exactly like everybody else thinks. I wasn't there, and I don't know. But I just like to look at the verses for what they say and try not to read things in them that they don't say. Sorry, Chad. I'm sure that's ticking you off. We've talked about that at length. And maybe we'll do that. Maybe when Chad comes and visits one of these days, we'll hash it out on camera. It'll be fun. Yep, there is a creation museum. We have gone there. We went. It was very, very early, almost just barely opened, and we went there. It was a lot of fun. A lot of very interesting things there. I'm yelling at my TV. I'm with Joan. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are, Chad. I am very careful about forming conclusions on things that can't be formed. So you'll find it hard to make me believe anything in the Bible that's not explicitly said or can be explicitly concluded. Is it possible that he created water, the whole earth, on day one and he just didn't mention it? That's entirely possible. But it's not plausible. Because before it says there'll be day, the first day, before there was anything, before there was let there be light, there was the Spirit of God hovered over the waters of the deep. So I find that very compelling evidence to say that before the 7 days of creation, earth was already there. Ball of water. You guys always get me talking about the Bible, and that, of course, distracts the tar out of me. And that makes me, every sad thought I have flies out of my head, which is great for me. So he created the stars also. Which day did he create the star beaters? The same day he created the stars. That's easy. Stars. There's no day he created the waters or the dirts. What is heaven like? No, who knows? I find myself asking the question a lot lately. It didn't mention Orion specifically. No, but it did mention stars. So, you know what? You're talking about that, Chad. It says he also created the stars. I actually think the way that that's worded leaves room to say that he didn't create the stars that day. It says he created the great lights, one to rule the day, one to rule the night, and then it says he also created the stars, like all the other stars, every other planet, every other star that ever existed. It just, side thought. See, I think the story of Genesis creation is not the story of the creation of the universe. It's the story of the creation of earth. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and void, blah, 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 blah. What follows is the story of in relation to us, creation of us here on earth. The story is not in creation of the other planets. Technically, if you want to get all technical, he created the stars. What day did he create the other planets? Doesn't mention any of them. because they're not stars, right? Still, who knows? I don't know. Hope I didn't scare away home on the Ranger. He was having some good stuff. I appreciated reading his stuff. I might have scared him away when I started talking about contradictions. They would love to see us hash it out. They would. It would be epic. We would not conclude. See, that's the bad thing. We wouldn't get out of there convincing anybody. We just try to get out there without having a big fight. How have you explained God to their kids as they were young? So I just basically talk about my life. I don't want to just start talking about, now there's this man in the sky called God, blah, blah, blah. I just immediately relate to my life. I talk about everything we're doing. I'm saying, I'm upset about this. I'm going to pray about this. I don't know if God will hear me or not. I don't know if he'll listen to me or he'll do what I want or whatever, or answer my prayer. Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't for this reason. Maybe he will for this reason. I just talk about the struggles that I'm dealing with when I'm dealing with them. And it presumes God. You know, the Bible never teaches you about God. There's not a chapter on why God exists. There's not a chapter of, this is why God exists and this is where God lives in the sky. The Bible presupposes God. So it doesn't have a step-by-step how to believe in God. It just dives right in and assuming God is real. And that's how I think it should be. Absolutely, Chad. I totally agree. Totally agree.
I want to ask how the Christmas thing it deals with.
Yeah, I've said that a few times.
Boring.
Well, see, that's the thing is, what if somebody from Deals watches though? So I don't know. Me and Thomas sat there like bumps on logs. We both ate a steak cooked the way Mom would have eaten it, and basically just sat there. Thomas got a fun jacket that says Deals on it. He really enjoys, and he got a present, a Yeti cup and a Scrabble game, and it was a work party, not a rip-roaring good time. But do you believe in prophecy by men today? That's a good one. And I don't want to tip too many of my cards right now. So I do believe that God can give people prophetic messages. But I do not believe in prophets the way that they were in the Bible today. Because I believe there was a certain purpose. The Bible says the law and the prophets were until John. So the prophets were to prophesy Jesus and talk about Jesus coming. That was a prophet. And I don't believe prophets in that capacity probably are around today. In fact, I don't think they are. Does that mean that God can't give somebody a prophecy or tell them something that may happen in the future or something? I think that's possible. But I think it's more on a personal level than it is on a corporate. God is telling me that, Donald Trump is the Antichrist or something. Anybody says anything like that, I'm just going to turn off my head and just turn the channel, because I don't think that kind of prophecy. God has shown me things that of the future that came true. So
We're arguing about how we have our steaks done. I don't know.
Medium well. Medium.
One of them has blood in it. One of them doesn't.
Rare is mooing. Well is burnt. So what level there you want? Medium well is what Andrea always got. So.
Is that what that was?
Do you think there'll be prophets for the return? That's a question we will be getting into in our Bible study that I'm not going to tip my hand about just yet, because let's just go along and we'll just read the Bible and we'll just read it for what it says. And that's all we'll do. We're going to keep reading it just for as it says. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You guys know that when I do the Bible studies, I'm open and I try to be considerate of what everybody believes. And I just tell you what I think the scriptures say. And we're just going to do that all the way through. You can make your own conclusions as to the end. What I don't want you to do is have any preconceived ideas about anything in your head. So let's just read the Bible for what it says, put ourselves in the place of the people who it was written to, and understand it the way they would have understood it, and let's just go through it and let's let it unravel itself. And I think that's the best way to understand the Bible. What I don't want to do is take what I think is future, or what thinks is supposed to happen, or what I think the Bible, what I think needs to happen, and then read the Bible with that light. That's backwards. So let's start with the Bible and just say what the Bible says, and we'll go from there. Do you read the statement? Don't question in the dark what is said in the light. Don't question in the dark what is said in the light. It depends on the context of what we're talking about. I think you should question everything. So, just because it's said in the light. So I'm going to say no. But if you're talking in a metaphoric way, something that's said in the light which is good and true and righteous, then I would agree with it in that light. Good question. I love stuff like that. Have you ever considered other religions being true instead of Christianity? Absolutely. I've definitely thought about all the religions and tried to hammer them out best I can. The best part is which one's the oldest. I think that's a really good, important question to ask. Any religion that's only come into being the last, well, let's just be careful. Yes, I have considered that. So I like to take their claims and study them out and see if they hold any water. I have found that Christianity makes the most sense. How do you feel about a Christian and a Muslim marrying? Boy, that's complicated. That's what I think. You want a Christmas Day video? I was going to say no, but I think I probably will. It won't be live. Why did you move to Wyoming from LA? Well, that area. Mm-hmm. I mean, LA is freaking giant, so LA is a very generic statement. We lived about 70, 80 miles from LA, from the heart of LA. Anyways, you guys know that I was married previously, and I had a daughter named Melina, and you see her here sometimes. We talk about her. My first marriage, she was unfaithful and left, and I was wanting to start over. And my parents moved out here. My dad's a preacher, and he believed God called him out here. Stepdad is a preacher. And so they came out here. They said, we're moving to Wyoming. You going to come? And I was like, yep. I was looking to start over, and I met Andrea shortly after. Where in LA I didn't actually live in LA, but we lived all kind of around the area. Everywhere from Upland, Ontario. Cucamonga is where we live most of the time. Rancho Cucamonga. And but all kind of around. Montclair, Upland, Ontario. I think that's about it. Yeah, we'll have a Christmas video. Yeah, I agree with what you said about not the same Jesus. I mean, they agree with the same person. They do not believe he rose from the dead. They do not believe he is God. They do not believe he was the Messiah. So, in that respect, well, why am I talking about this? That just makes people upset. We have Muslim people to watch us, and that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. I have a lot of Muslim people who have messaged me and sent me stuff and been very nice and kind to us. Good people. So, I'm certainly not going to bash them. But I do think that everybody should question everything that they've ever been taught in whatever religion you're in, and research them out and study them out. If you don't know which religion's right, look at them all seriously and consider them seriously and decide for yourself which one's right. Oh, we're going to get sticky in here. I'm going to be very careful about how we talk about end time stuff here because I think we want to ease into it. I do have a video that tells you what I think. So if you want to know, you can do a YouTube search for Tom Mills End of the World, and you'll find my video on that, and I'll tell you everything in there pretty much. So you can check it all out. But we are doing a Bible study, and we're going to get to that. So we'll get there. So I'm not going to bring it all up now. I will say that my view is a view you probably may have not have considered or heard about before. But everything I do, I try to be very logical and reasonable and go back with just what the Bible says and try not to put anything in it that it doesn't say. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, Chad, don't go spilling any beans. I'd appreciate it. I want to ease in. I want to ease in, and you guys we'll go through the Bible, and you just tell me where you think you disagree. If we find the place we disagree, and we can talk about it, I want to just have an open and honest conversation about the Bible. That's what I always want. The only reason why I'm not spilling it all right now is because sometimes if you just start at the end, it just freaks people out, and they can say, how can you believe that? And I don't want that. So I want to just do the same thing I've always done, is just be logical and reasonable about what the Scripture says and try not to put things in it that doesn't say. I think you guys have been seeing, anybody who's been doing the Bible study with me sees that that's all I try to do. That's all I do through the whole Bible. So I don't have any secrets or dark anythings. That's all I do through the whole Bible. And I think if you did that to the whole Bible, and we do that together, you may come to a very different conclusion from all the things you've ever been told. That's what I'm going to say. Between logos and graphe. Yeah, graphe is a writing. That's actually writing with a pencil. That's a writing. So it's the word graphes gets often translated as scripture, but in reality the word is writing, or in plural, writings. Whenever writing is plural, graphes or graphe, I can't remember how you say it in plural. It's always translated scriptures in the Bible, which is not accurate. There is no word scriptures. Scripture is a Latin word, not in the Bible. It's writings. So when it talks about they believe in the old writings, that's talking about what we would call scripture, but it's not the word scripture. So logos is the word for word. It does mean word in the traditional sense, but it also means something greater. You know, God created in the beginning with his word, right? He talked. He spoke things into existence. That word, it says, that's what John 1:1 says. In Greek, it's en arche enologos, ke ologos en proston theon, ke theos enologos. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That word is logos. So that is word. It is still also a word for like words. So it's a confusing concept. But yeah, good question. Please clarify when it is said that when you pass away, your spirit is absent from the body, is present with the Lord. Man. So that verse actually doesn't say what you think it says. It says, we know, brethren, that as long as we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. I would hope and rather, therefore, to be absent from the body and present with the Lord. So I don't think it's necessarily saying what everybody quotes that verse to be saying. What does it mean to be at home in the body? Does that mean that our spirit is camping out in this meat sack? I don't think that's what's meant. You know, Hebrews talks about those who are searching for a better country, a heavenly one. Such people do this show that they are, you know, travelers passing through. I think it's more talking in that kind of a realm, that we shouldn't be at home in our body. I think we can be present with the Lord while still being in our body, if that makes any sense. That doesn't mean that you don't go to heaven when you die. I think you do go to heaven when you die. But if we actually explored that reasoning of why you go to heaven when you die, it would tie right into the end time stuff and would probably shake up your opinion of what you think is supposed to happen and timings of those types of things. But again, I don't want to get it in there. People love to talk about the end times. They love to talk about the end times. Why? Don't anybody take this the wrong way. But we all want to see a miracle, right? We all want to see that. All of us are going to be in heaven one way or the other. In 100 years, every single person in this channel probably will be dead. 150 years guaranteed. 150 years tops. Guaranteed every single one of us will be dead. We'll all be in heaven. So our future is heaven no matter how you slice the mustard. Wanting to see, when we have these prophecies written down and you want to see those take place, that's exciting. It's fun. It's new. We would love to see faith by sight. We would love to see that happen because then ultimately it would prove it all to be true and we would feel so good to have that happen. I think that's subconsciously why we all like to talk about the end times. I think it's irrelevant. And we'll get into it, but very good question. Very good question. More about organ donation. My dad had a brain bleed and died. They told us his brain was dead and he was gone. Donated his organs. You're concerned now. Can you explain more? Oh, man. I don't want to put that on anybody. You can do some Google searches. I probably won't talk about it. I'm very sorry. You can send me a message on Facebook, and I'll tell you what I think if you're very interested. So if you want to find me on Facebook, you look for Tom Mills on Facebook. You'll see my little face with all my kids around me. That's me. And I won't necessarily friend you because my friend list is getting towards its limit. So don't feel bad if I don't friend you. But you can still send me a message even if we're not friends. And I will answer. So I will tell you more about there. You that the truth we receive comes from the perceived integrity of men. Ooh, that's Tammy. You got some deep, good questions. I do believe that God has truth, and I do believe God reveals truth in us. But I do believe mankind does trust in themselves to give truth as well. So I think it can be muddy water, and it's hard to tell the difference. No, I'm not going to answer that. You have favorite Christmas cookies? I'm trying to be random like the title says. There you go. Favorite Christmas cookies. I'm not a big fan of cookies. I love homemade chocolate chip cookies. But as far as Christmas cookies, no, not really. Christmas cookies are in the context of having the kids make them. So whatever one is the funnest looking one that they want to make. I have trouble changing my views when I believe a certain way all my life. Well, at least you're being honest, Darlene. That's everybody. Everybody does. And if you say you don't, you're just wrong. Nobody wants to change. Nobody likes to be changed. You know what change is? Change is going from a place where you knew everything to saying you were stupid your whole life. And nobody wants to be stupid their whole life. So nobody wants to get to this place. So that makes us resist everything that's change. It takes a strong person to be able to say, I see what's not true, and I want to be at a place where I can be true. I think it takes humility. And if you don't have a little bit of humility, willing to say that you're wrong, I say one of my sayings is you can't teach somebody something who already knows everything. And I think that's true a lot of the times, and nobody will admit to that. But I think a lot of people fall into that boat. They already know it all, so they don't want to have anything changed. And that usually makes them angry to get to that point. Everybody has that thing. That's why I keep going back and what I'm saying and the way I'm saying it is very specific and deliberate. That let's just take the Bible verse by verse, understand it in its context, and just go all through the whole Bible that way. Just do that and see where you come out. I think the whole life we've been told things, and now we look at the Bible with that in mind, and then we see the Bible differently. So I want to just go back to what it says, who it was meant to, what it means, and what the context is of what was being said. Understand it that light, and let's forget all the rest for now. Ooh, Allie, you made some homemade chocolate chip cookies tonight, and let's go to your house. There's a possibility that you're wrong in your beliefs. Absolutely. I probably have. I'm sure everybody's got things that are wrong about their beliefs. But as soon as I learn otherwise, I'm going to switch beliefs, and I'm going to be at that belief. Can I be wrong about all my beliefs? I don't think so. I've been studying these out for a very, very long time. I could still be wrong about things. But this method of learning the Bible the way I'm describing solves all my problems 90% of the time. And if I turn out I'm wrong, if you can give me a good reason on why it should be different, I'm all on board. I can't wait to change. I believe that's absolutely true. That doesn't mean I won't argue with you. I'm 100% right until I'm not. Yeah. Christian Answers, one of my favorite YouTube channels. I don't know that one. What if we are wrong? That's a scary thought. Yeah, I mean, I think that's safe. I think it's safe to, you know what, if we're being honest, all Christians, in the back of their mind, say, what if God's not real? And I think that's natural. I think it's purposeful. There's the verse that says, we see through a glass darkly. And it's God that's made the glass dark because it serves his purpose. This world, creating as a mortal life with flesh and blood, is created because it serves God's purpose for it to be this way. Andrea described Earth, what we have here in our physical mortal world, as a spiritual nursery. And I think that's a very good and wise way to look at it. This world is a nursery to grow us into the next world. And so it serves God for him to be so far away and so distant in our lives in a lot of ways that we doubt his existence. So he wants us to search him out. There's a verse that says that he hopes to, Paul said it on his preaching on Mars Hill, that he did this so the man would find him and reach out for him and try to look for him, though he's not far from every one of us, I think is what it says. Monkey bread's good. Monkey bread is just a bunch of little bitty balls of dough that are stuck together, and sometimes most of them are glazed, and you can just grab the dots off, and they're just really fun and tasty. Fun. I didn't answer the previous question about tithing, please. I didn't see it, but I can just tell you what I think about tithing. I definitely don't think 10% is the thing to do, and I think, personally, I just think we should be generous with our money whenever there's an opportunity to be generous with our money. Whether that means giving nothing, a bunch, helping somebody who's in need or poor, or he can't eat, or needs a house payment paid, or whatever it is. I think we should be generous with our money at any given moment. I think the idea of taking 10% of every check and putting it into a plate at church may not be completely accurate, best way to do it. But if that's how you do it, that's totally fine. So I think you should pray about it and do what God tells you should do. We, of course, have a home church, and so we just try to be generous whenever we see people that need generosity. So that's what we do. It's a scary thought because any one of us can be wrong on what we believe. Maybe all of us are wrong. Who knows? Yeah, I think that's true, Lisa. It is a scary thought. That's why the Bible says we should work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. I think that's absolutely accurate. It is a scary thought. But you know what? I don't think it has to be scary. I think the answers are out there. It says, if you ask and you seek and you knock, you will find. And Andrea's sisters come over to homeschool to bring their kids, or their kids in public school? No, they bring their kids. Amy homeschools her kids. Bethany is a baby, so please grow up and try to answer my question. Okay, I'm going to do it, T. Edsel. Scrolling up. Looking for your question. God created Adam and Eve. They had two sons. One got murdered. So my question is, where did the wives come from, Adam? Oh, I see. So where did Cain get his wife? All right, so it's pretty easy, actually. Adam, it says, lived to be 900 and something years old. So there's a little verse in there that gets overwritten a lot of times. Adam and Eve had other sons and daughters. So it does say, I'm trying to remember the wording now. It does say the firstborn, but after that, it doesn't. One of the kids, I think it's Cain. It doesn't say he's the secondborn. If it's Cain, or maybe it's the one after, or Abel, one of them. It doesn't. It stops saying which one is the firstborn. So there's lots of room for that. And of course, I don't know how it works and how fertile they are and all that sort of a thing, but I'm assuming they were pretty fertile. God's just making them to produce the whole world. By the time they were, Noah had sons at 500 or whatever. And so by the time they were old enough, there could have been already lots and lots and lots of sons. Just in my lifetime, the time of life I can live, if I live to be 80, I can live to see my great-grandchildren. If I live to see my great-grandchildren and all my kids have 9 kids, like I have 9 kids, and their kids all have 9 kids, I could live to see 400 members of my family. So it's one of those things that if you mature by the age of 17 or whatever, 15, and they literally live to be 1,000 years old, there's plenty of room in there for lots and lots and lots and lots of people to grow up and have birth and grow up. So that's where Cain got his wife. So I like the way you asked that, though. That's a traditional atheist question, and so I don't know if you're poking there or if you're sincerely interested, but that's my answer. You can look back in the genealogies. There's a couple places where it stops saying second-born, third-born, fourth-born, and there could be a very big gap in there of lots of other children. Is this Bible study? I suppose it's random questions. You ask me whatever you want. I will read it and answer any question that I read, unless it's total trolly. So if it happen to be Bible questions, then this says the other sons and daughters. Then hey, Jesus, mom and dad had other children besides Jesus. They did, absolutely did, and they didn't like him. They were pretty jealous of him. I'm a Christian. I would never be an atheist. Oh, okay, good. Thank you, T. Edsel. That's a good question. And you'll probably be answering that because people ask you that question is probably it, because that's one of the complicated questions. That's not even complicated. That's one of the ones atheists love to ask. And so Christians get asked that question a lot. But that's the answer. Adam and Eve had other sons and daughters. So it's not if you live to be 1,000 years old, all the rules go out the window. So we still got to talk about. We still don't know why that all is or how that worked out. I got my own theories, but that's another story. And people not leave biblical questions until study night. They can. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make this all Bible-y. So ask me some atheist questions. I will try to answer some more secular questions. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make it all Bible study, but that is part of my life, and I'm not going to hide it. So people ask a question, I'm going to try to answer it. And but I'm going to try not to corrupt you all and keep talking about Bible stuff if that's not all we want to talk about. You play D&D? No. Don't have a problem with it, but I don't play it. Yeah, talking about living water is another great source. Yeah, they are. I love Ray Comfort. Ray Comfort's great. I'm going to have to answer my previous question. Well, that makes me just want to go up and answer it. What are you looking forward to for 2020? Any personal goals? All I can think about is I want to know what God's plan is for me. That's all I want to know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to say the other one. I do have another personal goal. It's not particularly personal or that I'm super secretive about, but it's the kind of thing I don't necessarily want to talk about. But I'm very anxious to know what God's going to do in my life, and if He brings anybody into my life. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking of. Ray Comfort is eschatology. Obviously, is not something we sign on with. Obviously, and maybe he can be a little focused on a couple topics when he talks to people. But I honestly respect what he does and the way he does it and the knowledge that he has. And even his apologetic method about asking people the questions, maybe it's a bit simplistic, but I think it's still good. It gets people thinking for darn sure. Magic the Gathering, yeah, it's a little card game. Collectible card game you like to play. Who's assassinated for their kids? Claudia. Hands down. That was a Passion Salvation Army. I was asking him about donating his organs. Don't worry, I'm more curious. Maybe not that I know. I'll stop talking about that now. Well, again, you've got to be alive to give your organs off. And let's just say they want organs. So I'm not saying anything about anything else, but there's been horror stories of it. So Thomas left his Doritos here. They're fair game. How's the attic? It's a wreck. Actually, you know what? It's less of a wreck. Hold on. All right. For our system of privileges, where the kids get on, they want to get on e-privilege. That's the best privilege in our house. They can play games whenever they want. They can stay up a little later. They get a lot of benefits. But in order to do that, you have to do 2 service projects. Service project is a special project for our family above and beyond normal chores. So Thomas has taken it upon himself to start organizing the attic. So he works up there for a couple hours or whatever. And Thomas is an organizing freak. He's got OCD, a little like his dad. A little bit of perfectionist. So he's a good job. He's a good person to do that job. His other kids, I would not let them do that job. But I do let Thomas do that job.
What?
Cleaning the attic.
Oh.
So when I asked how the attic was, and I said, it's a lot better than it was because Thomas is up there cleaning every now and then. So, Tom, many people get organs from cadavers. No, they do not. Organs cannot be harvested from dead people. Completely can't. Brain is dead, but body's alive. See, that's the thing. That's the problem. I don't want to scare everybody out about not being an organ donor. I'm not going to do that. But let's just say a lot of people who have been presumed brain dead have woken up out of comas. That's happened a lot of times. So, did you like to fix on the Christmas tree? Yep, we certainly did. I got a new string put in there, and it's working good. So, stop. What am I talking about? About the organ stuff? I probably shouldn't be talking about it. And Thomas said, "Don't organize, send it my way." I know, right? He's good at it. Yeah, I will stop. Thomas hasn't noticed his chips are gone. I only had a couple. Let's go back to the couch topic. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I said I wasn't talking about it, but I keep talking about it. She seemed very interested in it, so I just send me a message on Facebook. A lot of people have been helped by organ donation. A lot of people. You have to decide for yourself that's something you want to do. Ooh, excuse me. I learned to rap so well. I don't know. I think it comes from being a slightly OCD person.
I wrapped a present for the thing, Secret Santa thing, and it was so badly wrapped.
I noticed that. That's funny. Start counting. Start counting what? Just a couple Doritos? Yeah, it was 3. I had like a full Dorito and like 2 half Doritos. That's your penalty for leaving them there open facing me. What are your views on UFOs, ghosts, and aliens? I don't believe in any of them. Easy. Salud. Thank you. Six. Is that how many chips that I had? Did you go back and watch the replay? Oh, that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. 6 bless yous. Oh, thank you. Let me ask what led your family to doing home church. We didn't find a church that we liked, basically. Kind of got kicked out of ours. And I don't know if you didn't get kicked out. We left. But, yeah, we didn't find any church that we really felt at home at. If we had of, then maybe we wouldn't be doing this. It just started out of necessity. And then we really liked it. It fit our whole formula of the home is so important, and kids are so important, our family is so important, and homeschooling is so important. It just home church just followed right along. Always have questions about magic things, Christian-wise, movies, games, stuff Christians don't have anything to do with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good question. I want to preface it by saying if you have a certain opinion about this, then you should do it. Romans 14 teaches us that if you believe if something is a sin, then for you it is a sin. So I'm not going to try it. If you're not convinced about it, that's great. Do what you think is right. But In the Bible, it talked about people doing sorcery to actually, and how bad it was, and not to do those things. I kind of wonder if they can be done even now, but that's beside the point.
Rod and the snakes.
But that's beside the point. Yeah, God did that though. But
the
magicians did it. But yeah, besides that though, if you're watching it on TV, I'll give you here's the thing that I always did. This is what did it. Just is what changed it for me, because I grew up with the same way. My parents were that way to me. You know, they told me that if there was a pentagram in my video game, then Satan could jump out and get me, basically, or a demon could, or something. So I was like, oh man, that stinks. And so my logical mind keeps thinking, what if I scribble on paper and accidentally connect some geometrical signs? Who decided that the devil likes pentagrams? Why is the devil released from pentagrams? That doesn't make any sense. It's geometric shape, and where's that? How does that let him out? And maybe there are other geometric shapes we don't know about that let him out. What if we didn't know? Or what if the things are arranged in a certain way, then ought to accidentally get a pentagram? And I thought about all these types of things. And what finally did it for me was StarCraft and Warcraft. StarCraft is a game, and Warcraft is a game where it's a military strategy, build an army, fight people. So Warcraft came first. So Warcraft came out, and it was Christians said how bad it was because they had magic. Some of the units that were in the armies were wizards, and they could turn people into sheep and do magic spells. They said how evil it was. But then a couple years later, StarCraft came out, which is the same stupid game, only in space themes. And you know what? It had the same spells. They weren't spells, though. They were technology. You turn into a sheep now because we have a transmogrification DNA resequencer that changes the structure of your bones into a sheep. You're like, oh, so that's okay. It's not magic. It's technology. When in reality, it's both the same stupid thing. And it's not real. It's not real. So if your kids play Cowboy and Indians, that's fun and that's cool. But if your kids go kablamo with a wand, oh man, you're in danger. That's just silly. It's not real. Sin is always on purpose. Sin is a condition of the heart. So you can't sin on accident, and watching a movie about magic isn't bad. I think it's not bad. So if you think it's bad, great, don't do it. But I serve God. You believe talking about demons and watching a movie with them makes you vulnerable and draws them near? No, I do not. Not in the slightest. People give Satan and demons way too much credit. We'll get into talk about that topic eventually in the Bible, but whatever they are, give them way too much credit. Did Satan have anything to do with Adam eating the fruit? He didn't. He had everything to do with Eve eating the fruit, but he had nothing at all to do with Adam eating the fruit. So, and even then, Eve made the decision on her own. Believe in the paranormal? No, I don't.
Hey Dad, I'm seeing Steve's green counter going to go all stuff and then test another guy.
Oh, really? Nice. Tammy, I think my opinion, all things can be evil if someone chooses to make it evil. Absolutely. That's what Romans 14 is all about, doubtful disputations. The whole context of Romans 14 says, one man believes it is a sin to eat meat, another man eats everything. For the man that thinks it's a sin, for him it is sin. Let that soak in a little bit. Paul says, I am myself being totally convinced that nothing is unclean in and of itself. So he tells us nothing's unclean and nothing's bad to eat. He actually says, eat whatever's in the meat market without raising questions of conscience. And yet, if some person believes it is a sin to eat meat, then it's sin for that person. That's a big concept. That means sin is only in the heart. And of course, there are hard rules. People say, oh, I can murder someone if I think it's okay. I think it's impossible to make you think yourself it's okay to murder. And if you do get yourself to that place, I think you had to defy your own nature to begin with. So, that's why it's not about big things. The whole question is doubtful disputations. It's about doubtful things. Another one is one man reserves one day more sacred than another. Another man reserves every day alike. Let each be fully convinced in his own mind. Whoever does so agrees with the Lord. Whoever is not doing it does it for the Lord. That's the important thing. So it's a thing about doubtful things. Anything can be evil, absolutely, if you think that it's evil. So if you believe it's a sin to watch Harry Potter or whatever, I would encourage you, don't watch it. Don't go changing your mind for me, because then it's on me. I don't want that burden. So I think it's totally fine. And so if you think that what I said made sense and you come to that point of view, great. Knock yourself out. But if you're not convinced and you don't think that I'm necessarily making the case, then you should not change anything for me, and I ask you to not. So, who's up with you and Thomas? There they are. There's Camden, Cousin, and Asher, and Judah. They're getting some late night snacks. And they're... Oh, yeah? And then what?
We didn't know that they were there, and then we still them.
Can you tell us some funny stories about what kids are said or done lately? I love hearing cute snippets like that. We caught Claudia combing Hannah's hair, and it was super cute.
Video?
Yeah, I think Judah said he got some video. And she's doing a terrible job, and Hannah's hurting, I think. But they're both in this on their own. I mean, she pulled a little chair over here by the recliner, and Hannah sat in it, and little Claudia came over here and was combing her hair, which was super cute. Oh, everybody say happy birthday to you, Asher.
Thanks.
I still have about the same number, so I haven't lost my atheist yet. Good. I promise I won't keep talking about God stuff, but it's still going to come up. I'm not going to ignore it, but I'll try to temper it back. So leave the Bible study stuff with the Bible study, some of it for it. Still going to talk about God stuff. I'll just try to balance it out for you. I appreciate atheists being here. That's awesome. The fact that we have atheists watch us is absolutely wonderful. And other faiths too. That's all great. We love you all. We're all part of our extended YouTube family, and we love that we can connect no matter where we're from and how we act. And it's really nice. Yeah, the Harry Potter thing, Lisa, a lot of people are in that boat. In fact, the Reeves family, who comes to our home church, their boys were in that category. And of course, you know what? I was too. I was raised that way. But through studying the Bible together on Sundays, again, our formula is just to read the Bible, try to put ourselves in the shoes of the people it was written to, understand it in the way they would have understood it, and take what we can from it. And we just look through the whole Bible logically. They have come to the same conclusions as us now. So we just finished watching all the Harry Potter movies with them. We've been doing it every Sunday after church. So how's that for heresy? So it's been a lot of fun. They just watched them all. It was really fun to watch it with them. Who's your favorite Bible person other than Jesus? Oh, man. All right. Yeah, God. Well, Jesus is God. Let me see. That's a fun question.
I have problems with Paul. He seems like a cool dude.
Paul is really great. I love Paul. Paul's probably the one to go to. The writer of Hebrews, I think the writer of the Hebrews is astutely wise. And I would love to know. I always like to think that it was Apollos, which was one of Paul's friends. So I like that a lot. King Solomon is pretty darn awesome because he was so wise. I love some of the prophets. Daniel's pretty darn awesome. That's a hard one. Peter was zeal, but John's your spiritual mentor. Nice, yeah. Paul was hardcore. They would have hated Paul. If Paul was alive today, he'd be killed. They'd hate the guts out of him. It's awesome. What we do allows you to see people live and eat people that would typically bump heads. Yeah, I'm amazed how many atheists we have watch our channel. I love them, and I don't want to offend our people that don't believe in God. You don't have to believe in God. Sometimes I'm doubting God in my head, honestly. I always reason that stuff out. And so I think it's perfectly natural. I think C.S. Lewis has said, doubt everything, even the very nature of God, the very existence of God. I think that's good. It's logical. God gave us that logical mind. Oh, God gave us a logical mind. So I think that's okay. And I like that our family touches people. We have a lot of really good values. Nothing wrong with being moral. I know a lot of very moral atheists. So, in fact, once you call yourself an atheist, generally they tend to be more moral. They try really hard to be. It's people that don't label themselves that don't believe in God or not. Otherwise, it can be other way, maybe. But John the Baptist will be killed in short order, I'm sure. Asher grew 4 inches. Oh, you've been typing?
Yeah, I told him that.
Yeah, he grew 4 inches from last year. I almost forgot. I broke down in tears measuring him. I'm not supposed to be doing that job. Andrea always measured. Andrea died about the time that Asher would have been studying and taking his test, his permit test. So as a result, he hasn't taken it yet. So we'll be doing that, I'm sure, sometime very soon when we think about it. Getting to do those types of things is hard to schedule. I think the atheists I've talked to from our channel all just like our family. And they think we do things nicely and love our organization and the way we handle a big family. It's always a very fun thing to have a big family and see how it is. And I think they like us and we like them. So I think it's just a connection to our family that they like. Yeah, I think you're doing an awesome job. Paul's my favorite. We can talk about it for hours. How long has this been going on? You would have been here a long time already? 2 hours and 17 minutes. I always seem to look about the same time. I won't make you guys talk to me too long, but I'm certainly enjoying it. How do I get rid of Task Engine on my computer? Task Engine? You mean Task Manager? Task Engine. Tell about. I'm not sure what you mean. Is that exactly what it says? Did any of your teenage boys taller than you, Tom? No, thank goodness.
I'm big.
Thomas is an inch smaller than me.
I'm not a quarter.
Oh, that stick over there, you're an inch smaller than me. We'll measure here in a minute. On the 5th, we'll find out. Oh, thank you. Simply Tweebings. That's a fun name. Task Engine. When do you see it, Tammy? What part? Where do you see it? Send me a picture on Facebook. I'll tell you what it is. I'll get rid of it. Yet, yeah. You take them out of school and work over the Christmas holidays? Not really. I'll take off Christmas Eve and Christmas. Work starts to automatically slow down by itself. People aren't calling me on Christmas, close to Christmas as much. So, well, teens only hang out in group of 3s or 5s because they can't even. I like that. So you turn on your computer. Send me a picture. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, Task Engine can mean a couple things. That's curious. Nicole, even though I'm atheist, I still have good morals and I'm late in a lot of ways. Enjoy the conversation on religion. I also have a large family and love regards to people. That's awesome. We love you too, Nicole. The beer looks good as it is. You don't even have to do anything with it. So some people think that I was growing it out for a while, but maybe I should cut it. Well, now I want to see what it was. Oh, I didn't see what it was. It's retracted. I don't get to see it. Well, somebody saw it. They said it was sweet. No. It's retracting messages, someone taking it off on their own. What'd they say? Maybe they didn't want to say it. They retracted it for their reason. No, leave the beard. I'm not going to shave it. Andrea, I never shaved for Andrea. Andrea never wanted me to shave, and so I never did. So now I probably never will. I always threatened to do it. And I said, I'm going to do it one of these days, Andrea. She said, that's fine. Do it for April Fools or something. But I never did. But I had been letting it grow out, and I normally trimmed it lower. So I probably will trim it lower. Unless, you took a little vote earlier. How many people thought I should leave it short? Now I think I should leave it long. Short seemed to have won out pretty heartily. Judas says, I see Dad should grow his beard out bigger. Oh, really? Judas watching us now. For loves? No, that's true. There are 4 words for love in Greek. And they all have very specific meanings, and it's a very fun study to do. I don't know if that means there are 4 loves for God. And there are definitely God's love and romantic love and all those other things, but it's interesting that there are different words for that. Not all cultures have 4 different words for it. The Greek culture did, and that's the way the language they spoke in the New Testament and around for Jesus. So I don't think that was necessarily the same in Hebrew. But it's a very fun word study. Well, if I'm being honest here, I want the beard that's going to be the most attractive. I'm trying to catch. Anyways, you guys tell me what's the best.
Best would be like down here, but perfectly straight. Not too little hair out of line.
Yeah, there's that guy in Austin Powers that he says, how do you get your beard so straight? I have a little comb, but that guy's beard, I was always like, oh man, I want a beard like that, perfectly straight. Oh man, Tom said, who's Austin Powers? I feel really old. Trimmed and neat. That's what I always thought, but Andrea liked a long beard. She loved me to grow it out, and so I would grow it out for her sometimes. Then I'd trim it back up. And if I ever meet somebody else who wants it a certain way, I don't wear it that way. So now I'm just playing the odds. What?
I don't necessarily think one word is trying to figure out how to deal with his helper with the spells. That they make you vulnerable.
What was it at? Who said that? I didn't see it. How far up? Oh, I don't think watching Harry Potter is I just know J.K. Rowling had a real wizard's helper with spells, and I think that's to make you vulnerable. Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not. J.K. Rowling is an atheist. If she had a real wizard's helper with spells, I don't know if that's true or not. Again, real wizards, I doubt pretty much all of that. Anybody alive today that thinks they can do magic, I think they're crazy. I think that. So I'm not saying that didn't exist in Jesus' day. It's possible they have old books that maybe they're trying to do things. Look like a young Wolverine. Well, that's the best thing I've ever heard. But I do think that they're just all playing around. I'm not scared of anything. We'll have more reasons for that. If we continue with me in the Bible study and you go all the way through and you learn my end times beliefs, that'll all tie into some of those things. So we'll get there. Your beard looks perfect as it is. Well, thank you. It's been a little longer than normally is. Mutton chops? Who said mutton chops? Oh, I see. That's funny. No, Judah. Yeah. For a long time, for a while, I would do it where I would shave it lower and I would just leave a small line on the chin and just had a outline there. I thought that was pretty cool. I do got some crazy amount of Wolverine gray on each side. Recently found out one of our sons doesn't believe in God anymore. What helps me not to badger him is remember that God goes after lost lambs. Keep him in your prayers. Yeah, that's what you do. Use every opportunity God gives you and don't try to hit him over the head with it. because that will just not work, I promise you. But if there's a chance that it comes up and you can see it in your life, then great. That's the way to do it. Favorite food and drinks? Oh, I don't know. That's tough. Pizza probably would have to be my favorite food, probably. You full?
Probably.
Are you ready to date? I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that's a pretty straightforward question. It's hard to not give a straightforward answer. I know that I probably want to go that route, and I know I'm still grieving and stuff, so there's that, but I'm definitely know that that's what I would like. And Andrea knew. She told me that I think I've shared that before, that Andrea always said that she wouldn't remarry if I died, and I said I didn't know what I would do if she died, and she said, I do, you'd remarry fast. And I was like, I don't know if that's true. I don't know what I would do. And she said, how would you know what I would do? She said, I just know you. That's what you do. And she didn't say it in a bad way, but so I don't know. It's hard. That is hard for the kids to have to think about. Yeah, I know the only ones watching now are my teenage boys, and we've talked about these things already. I'm very open and honest with my kids, and the little kids don't know any of that stuff yet. And when the time comes, maybe I'll tell them. But that's not something I'm doing right now. So, yeah, she did. She did. Someone sent me a message that conversation about remarrying after death is on one of our live dinners. And I've been trying to find it. I would love to watch it. So if you guys run into me and Andrew talking about that on our live dinner, I would like to know which one it was. Ash, someone told me they saw it on a live dinner. So, is it a mother for your kids or someone who would love like Andrea? Both. Both. Favorite childhood Christmas memory? I remember sneaking up when I was a kid when I told you when I believed in Santa Claus, and peeking and wanting so bad to go out, waiting up with my sister, literally staying up all night long counting the hours go by super slow. I remember those as a kid. So that's going to be my favorite youthful memory. As far as a family, all the Christmases are nice. He's got magic. You remember that? See, if you remember that, I would love. I was trying to find it. So if you guys find it, geez, your views on your vids are going to spike now. Yeah, I'm all for you guys finding that because I sincerely want to watch it again. So I had that conversation with Andrea many times, actually. I know we had conversations about it in our bedroom, just me and her, about it. And then I know the questions come up in live streams, and so I think we talked about it there. And at that point, I did not know. Andrea was still sure I would remarry fast. But to the day she died, I couldn't have told you what I would have done. She knew, and I kind of believed that what she said was accurate, but I didn't know. Yeah, I know that no one could replace Andrea. What was that one? I wanted to read that. Andrea spoke about a nightmare she had where you died. Well, it wasn't a nightmare, but that was always her biggest fear, was me dying. And she said what she did, she closed her eyes and she just imagined it. She imagined police officers coming to the door and telling her that I would die. She imagined what she would do, how she would plan the funeral, where she would go, and who she would call. And she went through the whole thing from start to finish. And she said that relieved her of all of her fears, and she never feared it anymore, which is neat. But take your time when you're ready. You will know it. I've been praying to God to put a good man in my life. Only time will tell. Yeah, I know. You remember that conversation as well? See, I would love to see it. If you guys find it, please send me a message on Facebook or something. To be on that companion, the right person will come along someday soon. I hope so. Viking's hair was amazing, although my husband's hair was down to his butt when we met. Wow, that's long.
Because of how high his back is.
What does that mean? All right, you're going to stop talking about beards? You've been going through all the beard configurations? There's some pictures of me with the Maynard goatee. Of course, no one knows who Maynard is anymore. But having a goatee on one of these, if it comes up, I'll show it to you. And what you had whether we marry or not, she would want you and the children to be happy first and foremost. That's very true. What's your favorite Haribo product? Oh, I can't do that. I love all Haribo. They all are unique. She talked about that on one of her vlogs. Really? If you find that too, let me know. I haven't watched her vlogs, really. So I lived them, so one day I'll watch them. But I really like my current kind of favorite right now on Haribo is the Haribo dinosaurs. I don't care about the shapes, but they have a unique flavor to them. Night, baby girl, why are you up? Well, you must have been going to the bathroom. Night, you must be bearded out. Ha. Favorite type of pie? Does cheesecake count as a pie? I want to say cheesecake. Watching all of Andrea's birth videos. Oh, neat. Toby Gillis. Yeah. Hi, Tom. I watched videos that Andrea did. She was amazing. Why her mom? Thank you, Julie. I think so too. She was wonderful. I hope I do too. Will you let your daughters have haircuts? Certainly, I would let them. But we're real big on long hair. So I'd be surprised if they wanted one. But they could certainly have one. I think long hair is beautiful. And it's very womanly. But nothing wrong with cutting your hair short. Nothing at all. I'll search for it and send you on Facebook. Please do. Those types of things. Who is G? I'm not sure. I don't know all the names really well. I probably know them from talking before, but I don't. YouTube names don't always line up with Facebook names. And Thomas Mills is already taken, so what would Thomas even name his channel?
Thomas Mills.
I figured name it Weenus. Thomas' favorite part of the body is this,
Yeah, the tip of the elbow.
which is called the Weenus. I think he likes it because it sounds almost gross. Yeah, the Jerrybo ginger lemon gummies. I haven't, but I'm not a fan of lemon flavoring. So I'd be surprised if I like it, but I'd be willing to try it. Ah, yes, see. Chad understands the humor. Watch the live stream April 30th live dinner. Is that on there? Did you find it already? Is that it, Tammy? I'll write it down. How could you know that already? It's so hard to watch a video that long looking for those things. That's it? Oh my goodness. Wow. That's amazing that you could come up with that. Imagine what shoe size Andrea had. She has big shoes to fill. Ha ha, that's true. I'm going to share that body part name with my kids tomorrow, Thomas. They will love it. Oh, yes. It's a big deal around our house.
The ancient Egyptian pharaoh's name was.
Yeah. Because you were wearing blue shirts. Oh, you remember it that well. You must have kind of a photographic memory. Well, that's a super big blessing. That's really fun. And someone said something about was one in a vlog. So if you happen to see that too, I'm very interested. Wonder why I was up this late, almost 3 hour time, learning a Weenus. Sheets. There you go, keeping it real and living up to your name. That's funny. She did love to sew. I'm going to try to learn to sew at some point once I get my life together. I was washing my car with a friend, and they said, "Can't you just use the sponge?" I feel like there's a good joke in there, and I can't get it. Oh, with a friend. That's awesome. That's like my two guys walked into a bar joke. Did you get it, Thomas?
Like that.
Love it. I watched her once a month videos. Neat. Take your time, Tom. Anything worth having is worth waiting for. I know that's true. You know, you. No, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Nothing. See, that's what I didn't want you to say. Stop it. Let's stop it. It is late. It's almost 1 o'clock here. It's going to be like 3 o'clock where you guys are. But I like doing late ones sometimes because we get people from the UK that can kind of tune in. And I don't know where all the times are messed up, but I think the Lord's Prayer is where people need to go when bad things happen. I think it's tradition. It's tradition. So that's one of the most quoted prayers. And so, but better to be like the man who could come up with the Lord's Prayer, right? Where Jesus came up with it. But he wasn't meant to be something. I don't think it was ever meant to be something you necessarily quoted, although quoting it is fine. Jesus was teaching them how to pray. And I'm not sure exactly in what way that helped, but he gave us an example of talking to God and the kind of things you talk about. How's cooking been going every day? Have you used the recipe cards? I'm going to get back into. I do have her recipe cards, and I want to put the recipes on the backs of them, and they're all written in Andrea's handwriting, so they're very special. So I want to type up instructions on how to make them all, put them on the backs, and then I will definitely be using those cards. As it is right now, that's not what we're doing. I can make chicken Alfredo. I can make Andrea's chicken Alfredo. I'm so excited, and it's actually very easy. It's one of the easy dinners. So I'll be making that a lot, and we're having lots of macaroni and cheese and tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and having make your own supper nights. And sometimes we have other nice stuff. We get pizza. Something that's not nice necessarily, but we will serve fruit and other things. And Judah mentioned we haven't had a vegetable in forever, although we've had corn and potatoes, so they're not exactly vegetables, either one of those. But we'll be getting those back into our rotation a little bit too. Give another one. Bartender said we don't serve time travelers here. A time traveler walks into a bar. Oh yeah, get the front of the joke at the end. Yeah, that's awesome. Two guys walked into a bar. Second guy said, "I didn't see it either." Thought I was going to go to bed 4 hours ago. Wow. Yep, the breakfast stuff. Boy, those Pop-Tarts don't last. One of the things I gave Asher for his birthday is 2 boxes of Pop-Tarts because he loves them. And, of course, in our family, if I let all the kids have Pop-Tarts, that's 2 boxes of Pop-Tarts. So that's how fast they go. So I'm very careful. I usually have the early birds get the Pop-Tarts, and Asher's always the early bird. So Pop-Tarts don't last. That's like one breakfast. So I gave him 2 of his own so he can have his own breakfast, own Pop-Tarts over and over again. Yeah, I guess it'd be too long. No one's going to want to watch the replay. I probably should wrap it up. It's almost 1 o'clock. We'll wrap it up here at 1 on the top of the hour. It's funny. People always say, you can buy so much pop. You can buy like all those 12 packs of pop. That's incredible. That's so gross and you rot your teeth. But then it's like, you don't realize that if I let them all have one pop, one soda, yeah, that's an entire 12 pack. Just one time. So, I mean, it's not like when you have a big family, things are different. Oh, yeah, the judo, I should probably show the gingerbread houses. So Asher said that they left the oven on his gingerbread house. Can you see it from there?
Tragedy.
Yep. So, yeah.
You're not getting it.
I'm not getting it? Anyways. So the boys, with their pyromaniacs actions, went out and burned their gingerbread houses to the ground. Yeah, people don't quite get what it takes to feed a large family. Like when I make chicken Alfredo, it's an entire pack of fettuccine. So when we cook spaghetti, it's a box and a half of spaghetti. Breakfast stuff is better than soda. Everything kills you. Nothing's good for you. Living causes dying. Andrea died at 41. She could have eaten whatever she wanted. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Yep, living causes dying. Good night, Karen. We're gonna wrap this up here in less than 3 minutes. So, that's right, Dee Dee. Judah loves rhubarb crisp. We have a bunch of rhubarb in the freezer that Andrea picked from our rhubarb, and I got him stuff to make them. You should be making those, Judah. You can do that whenever you want. Everyone brush your teeth and head to bed. Yep. If you use a diet the way I see it, I don't have to carry my own coffin, so why do I care what I weigh? That's true. I think, again, that what I just quoted about if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. It's the same way. It's the same way with the way we necessarily eat. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat healthy. We should eat healthy. But if you want to eat something, what?
But it shouldn't be that concerned.
No, it shouldn't, because you know who decides when you live and die? God decides when you live and die. And if you think that your life is in your own hands by what you eat, then I think you're incorrect. So you should be healthy. I do think you should be healthy. But if you think you're going to live longer because you do, I don't think that's probably accurate. Every now and then, well, it doesn't matter. It's fine if you want to eat healthy. Nothing wrong with that. So, but if you spend your whole life and then you die getting hit by a bus, you might as well have had chocolate cake for breakfast, lunch, and dinner your entire life. Body is the temple, but I don't think it has anything to do with how it looks. You think that the Holy Spirit can't live in a body that's not good looking? Obviously, I know you don't think that, but the body is a temple. Wow, that's terrible, Teasel. I know you get that, Ann. I didn't try to insinuate that you didn't get that. I know you know that. Healthy is a better quality of life. Oh, yeah, I think you're right in some degree. It all depends what people thought was healthy today. I think is healthy today, healthy weight, healthy look, and what healthy was 100 years ago. It's vastly different. You know, what's funny is you go back and King Solomon wrote 3,000 years ago, something like that, close to that anyways, that the sum of the man's years are 70 or 80 if he has the strength. That's a Bible verse. You can look that up. And that was back in his day. And you know what the average lifespan is? It's still like 74 or 75. Pretty much the same thing.
I'm gonna live exactly 100 years old when
Lifespan hasn't changed for all of our technology. People still live to be about the same age you did 3,000 years ago. See, Janet, I heard that a lot. Old people living 100 years. What do you do? I smoke a cigarette every day. I smoke a cigar every day. And I have bacon for breakfast. And, you know, I hear that kind of stuff all the time. I think it's just your genes. And, well, when God decides you're going to go. There's a Army general who said once that the Lord alone knows the day of my death. And until that day comes, I'm invincible. And I like that outlook. Maybe it's not always practical. What? Oh, yeah? Why? Yeah. We'll get back to that. Oh, it's after 1. All right, we're going to go wrap it up. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me and Stockings Stuffings. Stockings Stuffings. I said it again. Oh, it looks like Hannah has gotten up. I'm going to go hold her. Stuffing Stockings. All right, good night, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. It was nice. I appreciate it.